The real estate market is a ticking bomb, and the only person that can protect us is the government. And yes, we're protecting tenants against evictions over and over again. But how long would that last? You know, there's gonna be a time when the government comes out saying,
no more eviction moratorium.
and that will kill real estate. So in this video, I will show you exactly what to do when that happens and how you can profit from it. Hi there, my name is Jaime Chicago and welcome to my channel, The Foreigner in America, where I teach locals and foreigners everything related to their money. So if you're someone like myself that loves money and wealth, savings, investing, the markets, real estate, crypto, you name it, please subscribe to this great channel and hit that bell so you don't miss any one of my 2 weekly videos. I also post weekly on Instagram at The Foreigner in America. I have a blog, theforeignerinamerika.com, where I actually post the content of the videos, but I elaborate a lot more on the foreigner insight just for you. And I have a book, A Foreigner in America Can Succeed, which you can download in Amazon on the link below. So this is the situation right now. You know, the pandemic hit in 2020, shutting down a lot of businesses and putting a lot of people out of work. After March 2020, many companies shut down and people just stayed home. People were actually forced to stay home and do nothing. And this is where the unemployment benefits came into play. So starting April, we got our first stimulus check, and then we got another one in January and April of this year. But realistically, $1,200 was not enough money for anything. I mean, you could pay something here and there, but people that were already in debt could not afford to pay anything with $1,200. So when the eviction moratorium came into place with President Trump, two things happened that were interesting. One, people that couldn't pay their rents because of the financial stress of the pandemic were actually helped a lot by this because they didn't end up in the streets. But on the other hand, you had tenants that did have money to pay rent and they chose not to pay rent and they chose just to spend that money elsewhere. It is sad, but it is what it is. The problem here is that this is a ticking bomb and it will explode. I'm not telling you it will explode next month or maybe not even in December of this year. But it will explode because the government is not able to sustain this for 4 full years. So I am a landlord myself. And let me tell you that a lot of landlords use debt as leverage. So they buy their income properties with a mortgage. And then with the same rents, they pay off the mortgage and they get free cash flow. If you do it correctly, because you watched my previous video, which you can also click on the link below, you can see how easy and how nice it is to invest in residential real estate. But when a tenant stops paying rent, that's considered vacancy. And that's one of the devils of real estate that I talked about last video. So that's unsustainable. Having someone living there for free is just unsustainable. So a lot of real estate investors lost their properties during this year and a half, almost 2 years of the pandemic, because people were not paying rent and they couldn't sustain the expenses of the mortgage and taxes and all this good stuff. So they just lost their properties. So what will happen when the government finally eliminates the eviction moratorium? 4 things will happen, so stay with me. Number 1, homelessness will just spike. You have to expect a lot of people to be on the streets begging for food and water. Number 2, crime will go up. So this is a situation where when you throw someone on the streets and this person is in a desperate need to protect their family for food or shelter, these people could act in a certain way that goes against the law. Number 3, housing prices will just sink as well as rent prices. So imagine 11 million people are in risk of being evicted today in the United States. You take away the eviction moratorium, That's 11 million people. How many houses and apartments do you think that is? I mean, it could be 4, 5, 6, 7 million houses and apartments that are gonna go vacant like this. So we're gonna have an oversupply of properties and a lot of homelessness, and rents and housing prices are gonna go down. They're gonna deflate. And mostly because right now they're very inflated for no apparent reason besides the mortgage rates being low and the government pumping a lot of money into the economy. And the supply chains will go back to normal. Like right now, it's just stupid to buy a house. I mean, if you're in an urgency to buy because your family is moving to a different city and you really, really need a house to live, okay, I understand. Go and take your chances. But if you're really not in a hurry to buy, this is not a good moment to buy. It's just a big seller's market that is gonna end sooner or later. So right now, lumber and steel are way too high. Houses, the new houses are way too high. Even the existing houses, the bids go for higher than asking prices. People are doing stupid things like waiving appraisals, waiving inspections, paying cash, like all this stuff that should not be happening. It's just emotional. Remember, when you buy a property, it has to be based on the numbers. It has to make financial sense. Even if it's not an investment property, it's still an investment. Your house has to be a good investment because it's something very expensive that you plan to keep for many years. And you want that to appreciate, you want that to be a good thing because it's gonna cost you a lot of money to maintain. So much better to be in a good place where it will appreciate. And even if you wanna move to a different house, you can rent that place and break even, makes some positive cash flow while you're going for the next place. So let me tell you, my friends, that this over demand, lack of supply is gonna end. It's gonna switch to an oversupply and a lack of demand. So prices will go down. So what should you do? That's the question. If you're in an emergency to buy, go and buy. But if you don't have cash to pay, you're gonna get crushed, because there are going to be a lot of Californians coming in and just putting cash offers over asking price. So if you don't want to pay over asking price, just hold on to your money a little bit more. And if you're renting, just secure another year of rent. It will not kill you to rent for another year. And there's no reason why the landlord should spike your rent up, because they are lucky that you're actually paying the rent in the first place. And if you're an investor like myself, this is the best moment for you to keep saving, keep hoarding your cash, because there will be a moment when this eviction moratorium comes out and a lot of houses will be for sale. A lot of people will lose their homes. It's very sad, but it's what it is. People make mistakes. They make bad decisions. They will not be able to afford the homes they bought. So the houses will be for sale. Once you can grab a piece of property that is located in an ABC neighborhood, well maintained, you can place a tenant and charge a rent that is over 1% monthly purchase price. And you can go in and at 90% asking price and buy a property and secure a couple of good properties. That's beautiful. And you will be able to do that if you have the money with you. Whoever holds the cash is king. So let me give you my foreigner insight for this topic. Remember, I elaborate a lot more in the blog, so check it out. Right now, if a house is going for 200K, people are going in and bidding 220, 230, 240, 260, depending on the different markets. It's crazy. But if you buy a house at 280 and you plan to rent it out for $1,800 a month, that makes no financial sense. Don't do that. But if you wait until the eviction moratorium goes into place and there's a lot of vacancy, a lot of homes for sale, that same house that used to be 280, you can go in and get it for 180. 180, you rent it at 1,800, that's a 1%. That's a really good investment for you. So remember, watch my previous video on how to invest on residential real estate. You need 1%. You need your 10% cash on cash return. That's the most important thing if you're ever planning to invest on real estate. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe to this great channel and hit that bell so you don't miss any one of my weekly videos. Check out my Instagram, my blog and my book, as I said before. And I'm happy that you're here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.